The story takes place in Turkey, maybe 100 years ago. There was a young man, his name was Shlomo. He's not married. He was very talented, had a good sense of humor, knew how to speak to a crowd. He was a good, what they call, could lead the congregation, a cantor, a chazan, they call it shliach tzibur. And he could give classes in Torah and etc. But he had one big fault, and that is that he was an egotist. And he deserved it. He deserved it. Really, he was very talented. But he couldn't bear if he didn't receive the honor that he thought he deserved. What is the antidote to this? The antidote is like we just finished saying, to realize that everything I have and everything that I am and all my qualities and all my successes and all my talents are all gifts from God. God is just giving. It's all just God's kindness. And to concentrate on the source of my talents instead of concentrating on my talents, on the giver, on the creator instead of the receiver, namely me. But this Shlomo, he knew what he was supposed to do, but he couldn't. It was just such a big, powerful thing in him that anything didn't go exactly his way. So he was especially used to sound the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. That was his big thing, and everybody really enjoyed it. His sounding of the shofar was very deep and everything. Now, just so that everybody knows, in sounding of the shofar, there's three sounds. One of them is a tekiah. It goes. Another one is a shvorim. And another one is the teruah. I would try to sound the shofar, but for some reason the microphone doesn't record it. But it goes like this. It's tekiah. Shvorim is three. Let's see if you hear three. And the teruah is a lot. Okay, this Shlomo, one day he was sitting with a bunch of Arabs. He was friendly with everybody. And he said a couple of jokes or something like that. Of course, he knew Arabic or Turkish, whatever the language is. And they laughed. They thought it was just so funny. And somebody even, there was a violin over there. He brought him a violin. He knew how to play violin. He knew how to sing. Dan knew all the songs. The Arabs started inviting him to their parties and paying him good. He knew some rich people. They were paying him good, and he was really, very successful. And they really praised him, and they really, there was one of them. Suddenly he was not a stupid person. Suddenly he started to realize that, hey, these people are giving me the honor that I deserve. And the Jews not. Sometimes he would begin to tell a joke, and people would interrupt him in the middle of the joke. People would talk about something else. They wouldn't notice him at all. Sometimes somebody would even say something sort of like, not nice to him, word, you're a little bit nosy or something like that. Or in any case, he started looking at the Jewish community with the left eye. And the more miserable became, the more miserable things actually did become. And the less pleasant people were to him. And conversely, the more pleasant he was with the non-Jews, is the more pleasant they were with him. So eventually he started to chum around more with the Arabs, with the Turkish people, until somebody says, listen, the mayor is having a big party. Why don't you go? I get him to invite you. At least you'll be able to play for the mayor, 5 minutes, tell one joke. So I went to the mayor, and he was a big hit. The mayor said, don't take him off the stage, keep him up. No, Your Honor, I just wanted it just for a minute. No, everybody was saying more. Anyway, finally he gets introduced to the Sultan, and the Sultan really likes him. And the Sultan says, listen, I'll make you a deal. You'll get a tremendous amount of money. You'll get a home. You'll get a this. You'll get honor. You this. So, but one thing, you're a Jew, and it's like a bone in our throat. The Jewish people, as it is, okay, we get along with you people and everything, but really, you got the wrong religion, and you don't believe in what we do, and you're stubborn, and you won't want to come over to us. And you have all your reasons, so we'll let you go. We'll be we'll be forbearing. We won't, do anything bad to the Jews. But I can't bring a Jew into my royal palace that he performs in. Maybe once in a while, the Jew comes in. But I want to make you my royal, how do you say, entertainer, the court jester, whatever you want to call it, and you'll get big, big money. And all you have to do is, like, every day, just ask me if I would like appear, and if I say yes, then you appear for like an hour or something. So he doesn't know what to do. He starts to think, Shlomo, listen, I'm not really getting that much out of where I am. And not only that, these people are Muslims. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not, it's not idolatry like Christianity. They worship God, and also they have their sort of kosher food that they eat. They don't eat the same thing, and they have a lot of laws. So anyway, he made all sorts of excuses up until he decided he'll take the offer. So in order to do that, he had to change his religion. He had to become a Muslim. So he became a Muslim. God forbid. He became a Muslim, and he was a big success, and his word was on his name was on everybody's lips, and it was great, and it was a big success. Anyway, one day the king made a birthday or some big party he had up or whatever. And of course, he invited our Shlomo, whose name was not Shlomo anymore, it was Saeed or something. And he brought him in front of everybody. And Shlomo's making jokes, and he's dancing, and he's saying clever things, and everybody's laughing, they're clapping. And he makes a couple of jokes about Judaism. I used to be a Jew, and now I remember, now I realize that, your food is better. Everybody's laughing. Anyway, suddenly he realizes, what today is? Today is the Jewish New Year. Everybody says, oh, very interesting. You know what the Jewish people do on the New Year? It says they sound the shofar. You know what the shofar is? It's a horn of an animal. And he makes dances around, everybody's laughing. He says, and they have even names of how they sound the shofar. First of all, it's called a tekiah. Why a tekiah? The word tekiah means to be stuck. Tekiah means to be stuck. That's not what it means. It means to be stuck. It still shows the Jews are stuck in their old ways, and they can't, everybody's laughing, and here's how it goes. It says, and afterwards they make another sound, and it's called a shvorim. That's 3 blasts, and the shvorim, because the Jewish people, we're going to break them all up. We're going to break everybody's laughing, and he goes, doot, doot, doot. So then afterwards they have they sound one's called a teruah. Why is it called teruah? Because the Jews are raw, they're bad, and they're this, and everybody laughs. He takes the shofar and puts it to his mouth, and he goes, it's supposed to be, nothing comes out. He just can't do it. He tries again. Tries the other side of his mouth. Tries the middle of his mouth. Nothing comes out. So at first everybody's laughing, and he should have just made a nothing out of it and gone on. But for some reason, he's thinking to himself, what's going on over here? Why can't I sound the teruah? I mean, I've done this 1,000 times. I'm really good at it. It's just one minute. He's trying, and it just doesn't come out. Can't figure out why. And he can't let the thing go. He figures just one more try, and it's got to come out. It has to come out. And he laughs. Anyway, somebody in the crowd starts to realize that he's not joking around, that he really can't make the sound. It says, so he yells out, some guy yells out, once a Jew, always a Jew. The true is bad. You're bad. Everybody's laughing. Meanwhile, he's caught up in this thing, and somebody takes like a fruit or something from the ground and throws it at him. And throws it, which usually he would just catch it or something like that. And it ends up that he's just caught up with this, trying to make this true. I think, why can't I do it? He just doesn't understand. It just doesn't come out. And suddenly he realizes that people are throwing like tomatoes at him and all sorts and yelling at him, dirty Jew, this. So he realizes what's going on, and he just screams at all of them, you people are evil. God is going to punish you all. You're a bunch of liars. You're a bunch of cheaters, licentious fools. And he just curses them all out with the Sultan, with everybody. And everybody's just, where did that come from? And even the guards of it, suddenly he realizes, he's a smart guy. He realizes what happened, and he ducks underneath. He puts something on, and however it is, he makes it out of the palace. He makes it out of the palace, and he runs away, and he hides away, changes his clothes somehow or other, and he hides away. And where does he hide? He has to wander from place to place. He wanders around in the synagogues. That's the only places that the people will accept him. Right? Everybody else is looking for him. So he hides away in synagogues, and he goes from day to day. He doesn't even look like his own self anymore. And he's got a beard, and it didn't look like what he used to look like. After maybe about a year of this, he's pretty sure that they stopped looking for him already. And his appearance has totally changed. When he was in the palace, he was corpulent and big, and now he's skinny and miserable. Anyway, so he goes to a big tzaddik over there. This is the way I heard the story. It was Rabbi Abulafia. That's how I heard the story. And he goes to this big, well-known tzaddik, and he tells him the whole story, what he did, and that he wants to repent, and he wants to do. And he says, okay, and he tells him what to do in order to repent, and etc. And the main thing is just to start doing good, and to stop doing the bad things, the negative things that he did. So he says to this big tzaddik, this rabbi, tell me, Rabbi, I want to know something. Why is it? What happened back there in the palace? Why couldn't I sound the teruah? Why couldn't I sound the teruah? Why? I know how to do it. I'm an expert at sounding the shofar. Why did I do it? And I became obsessed with it. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't sound the teruah. No matter what I did, I couldn't bring out the sound. Can you explain it to me? I'll be Kabbalah, according to the secrets of the Torah. And this big tzaddik said, of course I can explain it. He said that the sound of the shofar, the three sounds that we sound on the shofar, that corresponds to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The tekiah, that corresponds to Abraham. The shvorim, that corresponds to Yitzchak. And the teruah, that corresponds to Yaakov, Jacob. Says Abraham had two sons. One was Yitzchak, but the other one was Yishmael. You changed your religion. You wanted to cut yourself off from Abraham, but Abraham had one son, it was his son, that was not connected, also wasn't connected to Abraham, Yishmael. So from the side of Yishmael, you were able to sound relevant to Abraham. A tekiah. Yitzchak, he's the shvorim. Yitzchak also had two sons, Jacob and Esav. Jacob, you don't want any connection with. But Esav, you left Judaism, you want a connection with Esav. So you have that portion of Yitzchak sounding the shvorim. That's also a part of Yitzchak. But Yaakov, all of his children were pure. They were all holy. Yaakov had absolutely no connection with any form of idolatry or opposite of Judaism.
Menachem was in the waiting room.
Huh?
Menachem was in the waiting room, he said.
I don't know. I don't see anything. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. Okay. I'm almost finished anyway. You'll have to see it on this. Yaakov, on the other hand, that corresponds to the teruah. And Yaakov, you have no connection with. You cut yourself totally off from Yaakov, from Israel. Yaakov was totally good. He had no connection with the things except for Judaism. Therefore, you were unable to sound the teruah. And that's what brought you back to Yaakov. the teruah that you were unable to make, that's what brought you back to Yaakov, to your Judaism. Because as long as you were separated from Yaakov, you couldn't make the sound of the teruah. And that explained to the young man how it is that Judaism manifests itself actually in the physical world. Have a good day with Mashiach now. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, God willing, at 8:15, we'll continue learning the Kuti Torah, Tomorrow Malchut, and the rest.